All right, so you're thinking about becoming a language school teacher, and you've got a stack of stuff from RoleCatcher to help you figure that out. Well, think of this deep dive as your shortcut through all of it.
It seems like the world of language instruction is calling to you.
It really is. And one of the
Mm.
things that jumps out right away from RoleCatcher is how different it is from, the kind of teaching we're all used to.
Oh, absolutely.
It's way less about memorizing grammar rules and way more about giving students the tools to actually use the language, like in real life situations.
Right. It's about equipping them for real-world application, whether it's for travel or business or just connecting with people from different cultures.
Totally. And that leads to, I think, another really cool thing about language school teaching, the variety of students you get. It's not like a traditional classroom where you've got a set curriculum.
No, not at all.
Language schools attract like a real mix of people.
You could have a class of absolute beginners one day, and then the next you're leading a debate on current events with advanced learners.
Yeah.
So talk about keeping things interesting.
Wow. That sounds both exhilarating and terrifying at the same time.
It definitely keeps you on your toes, that's for sure.
I bet it does. It seems like you'd really need to be adaptable as a language school teacher.
Adaptability is key, not just in terms of the level, but also the learning styles and goals of your students. Someone learning a language for business is going to have totally different needs than someone who's learning for travel or just for personal enrichment.
Absolutely. And speaking of adapting, let's talk about how technology is changing the language learning world. I mean, remember those old language tapes you used to have to listen to?
Oh, yeah.
Thankfully, today's classrooms have gone digital.
Totally. RoleCatcher highlights all these different ways that teachers are incorporating technology, like using interactive whiteboards, online resources, language learning apps.
Yeah, so it's not just about lecturing from a textbook anymore. Teachers can create these really immersive experiences, like using authentic materials like videos and podcasts, even social media.
It's about making it real and relevant to their lives.
Exactly.
And the beauty of technology is that it allows for so much more personalization. You can really tailor your lessons to specific interests and learning styles and give individual feedback. It's amazing.
Okay, let's switch gears a little bit and talk about, the perks. Rollcatcher paints a pretty good picture, honestly. They mention flexible hours, the chance to maybe even travel internationally. And of course, there's the whole thing about helping people connect with different cultures, which is super rewarding in itself.
Yeah, there's a real sense of making a difference in people's lives. You're empowering them with the ability to communicate and connect in new ways. And that's huge.
Of course, it's not all sunshine and roses, right? I mean, no job is perfect.
Right.
Rollcatcher definitely mentions, some of the challenges. Things like spending a lot of time prepping for classes. And, it can be emotionally draining at times too, right? Like when you're working with students who are struggling.
Yeah, you have to have empathy and patience. This isn't just about presenting information. It's about guiding people through what can be a pretty challenging process.
Totally. And on top of that, you've got to be able to handle cultural differences, different personalities. It's a lot to juggle. So you really have to have a passion for teaching to do this well.
Absolutely. Passion is key. But you also need a good set of skills beyond language.
Right. Rollcatcher talks about that too. What did they say were some of the most important ones?
Well, communication and interpersonal skills are essential. You're creating a learning environment. You need to be able to build rapport with your students,
Yeah.
encourage them to collaborate.
It's about more than just knowing the language. You've got to be a people person too.
Exactly. And remember, everyone learns differently. So being able to adapt your teaching style is super important.
There's that word again, adaptability. It seems like it's a big theme for language school teachers.
It's essential. Every student is unique, and you have to be able to adjust your approach to meet their individual needs. That's what makes a good teacher great.
It's about figuring out how to help each individual student succeed.
Absolutely.
So RoleCatcher also goes into the different career stages for language school teachers. They talk about how you can start in an entry-level position and then move up to more senior roles.
Yeah, there's definitely a path for advancement. You might start out assisting more experienced teachers and then eventually get to design and lead your own courses. Some people even move into curriculum development or teacher training.
So there's room to grow.
Definitely. The more experience you gain, the more opportunities will open up.
That's awesome. And speaking of getting ahead, RoleCatcher mentions certain certifications that can make you more competitive in the job market. Things like TEFL, TESOL, CELTA. I have to admit, I'm not totally sure what all those acronyms mean.
They can be a bit confusing. Basically, they're all certifications that demonstrate your expertise in teaching English to speakers of other languages.
I didn't.
Think of them like a stamp of approval.
Like a signal to employers that you know your stuff.
Exactly. So TESOL stands for Teaching English as a Foreign Language, and it's a
Nah.
good option if you're thinking about teaching abroad.
Oh, okay.
And then you've got TESOL, which is teaching English to speakers of other languages, which is a bit broader. That one covers teaching English in all sorts of contexts, not just overseas.
So more versatile.
Right. And finally, there's CELTA, which stands for Certificate in English Language Teaching to Adults.
So that one's specifically for teaching grown-ups.
You got it.
I'm starting to get it now. But it sounds like it's important to do your research and figure out which certification aligns best with your goals.
Definitely. Each one has different requirements and focuses on different aspects of teaching.
Makes sense. Okay, so you've got your certification, you kind of know what you're getting into. Now it's time for the interview, right?
Right.
RoleCatcher gives a whole bunch of sample interview questions, everything from your teaching experience to how you incorporate technology into your lessons.
Yeah. You want to be prepared to talk about your teaching style, how you assess students, your approach to classroom management.
What do you think is like the most important thing to get across in an interview?
I'd say it's crucial to show your passion. Employers want to see that you're genuinely excited about language and teaching.
So it's not enough to just know the stuff, you have to love it.
Exactly. Let your enthusiasm shine through. Talk about what inspires you about language learning. Share some examples of how you've made it fun and engaging for your students in the past.
Show them your personality.
That's it.
Now, I do have to ask about this AI-powered tool that RoleCatcher mentions. They say it can give you an edge in the job search process. What's that all about?
Oh, yeah. They have this really cool AI technology that can analyze job descriptions and help you tailor your resume and cover letter to highlight the specific skills that employers are looking for.
Oh, wow. So it's like having a personal resume writer.
In a way, yes. But it goes even further than that. Their AI can also help you prepare for the interview itself.
Really? Tell me more.
They offer these mock interviews and give you personalized feedback based on your responses. It's like having a personal coach. Their AI analyzes your performance, points out areas for improvement, even gives you suggestions for how to better articulate your skills.
That's incredible. Technology is really changing the game. You know, as we've been talking about all of this, I keep thinking back to those example career profiles that RoleCatcher gave. It's actually pretty inspiring to see where a career as a language school teacher can go, you know? You might start as an assistant teacher and then end up leading your own curriculum development project.
It really shows that there's a lot of room for growth in this field.
There really is. And it makes me think that, like, learning never really stops for a language teacher, right? You're
Oh.
constantly growing and evolving.
Yeah, you're always learning new things, trying new approaches, staying up to date on the latest research.
Absolutely. And who knows, maybe someday you'll be the one, like, mentoring new teachers, sharing your experience, and inspiring them.
Now that would be something.
It would. So, as we wrap up this deep dive, I want to bring it back to you. We've covered a lot of ground, from the day-to-day realities of teaching to, you know, career paths and certifications and AI tools. So, how are you feeling about all of this?
It's a lot to process.
Mm.
Hopefully we've given you a good sense of what this career path is all about, the good and the bad.
Definitely. But I do want to leave you with one final, like, thought-provoking question.
Okay, I'm listening.
So everything we've talked about has focused on traditional language schools, but have you thought about teaching online?
That's a really good point. Online teaching has exploded in recent years.
It really has, and it opens up so many possibilities for language teachers. You could literally connect with students all over the world.
Imagine that, teaching someone in a completely different time zone, learning about their culture
Right.
while you're teaching them English.
It's incredible. And with all the amazing technology out there now, you can create really engaging and interactive online classrooms.
It's like a whole new world of language teaching.
It really is. So if you're serious about becoming a language teacher, I think it's important to explore all the options, you know? Don't limit yourself.
I agree.
So there you have it, your deep dive into the world of language school teaching. We've looked at the skills you need, the challenges you might face, and the incredible rewards that come with this career. And who knows, maybe someday you'll be that inspiring teacher sharing your passion for language with the world.
And maybe even inspiring other future teachers.